and he got this idea to just gamble way outside of his allowable budget. So he's being influenced by people on the internet that are gambling. Hello, my favorite people. Welcome back to the channel. I've got another Reddit reaction story for you guys. We've got another gambling addiction story. Brace yourself for this one. This one really is super ultra triggering for me. So I'm going to try my best to get through this without being over dramatic. But I'm going to read this article, read this post. I'm going to stop and pause and give some insight, give my little tidbits, and offer up whatever advice I can offer. I'm going to also read some of the responses from other people. So, hey, we can get as much support and information as possible. If you're going through something, this can possibly help you. So I'm going to dive right into this. Okay, so the title simply says, "Have I hit rock bottom?" He's asking that. "Tonight I drove to the casino and lost another $1,500 that I did not have to spare. My addiction with gambling has come fast and strong, and I am spiraling. The past 3 months, I've won and lost $400,000. My obsession with gambling videos have gave me the bright idea to gamble away outside of my allowable budget, which depleted my winnings." So, okay, I gotta process this. This guy's lost 400K in 3 months. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. And he says here that he's been watching gambling videos, and he got this idea to just gamble way outside of his allowable budget. So he's being influenced by people on the internet that are gambling. That should be a signal to you guys to be very careful of watching other people gamble. It's bad enough when you're in the casino and you're being influenced by the people around you and their betting styles and how they're increasing or decreasing their bets. But it's another ball game when you're sitting here watching, you got time alone and you're just watching video after video of these huge influencers or whoever winning, and then you're like getting the idea that you can do the same thing. That's very bad, because it's all a gamble, and that's just the reality. So I'm gonna get right back into this. It says, "The sad thing is I was so ahead, but when I started following gambling social media influencers, trying to play like them, the losses started to roll in hard." So basically, he bit the bait. And see, what a lot of people fail to realize is these people, these influencers, a lot of times they're basically marketing for these online casinos. And so the online casino might give them a set amount of money to play with. And then you're seeing them, and they're probably playing like with astronomical amounts of money. And then you see them winning big. So the money is not theirs, right? They're playing, they're winning big. You're getting excited. But guess what? That money they're playing, they're going to end up giving the casino back the money, and then they get a payoff, essentially. So they're getting paid. They're given money to play this, and then they keep whatever they're supposed to keep, you know? And so they probably have, let's say they give them $100,000, right? And they say, okay, we want you to play $50,000 of this $100,000. You're going to put that back into our casino, and then you keep 50K for yourself. And I'm sure they sign contracts, and I'm sure they, tabulate how much money that they actually spent to make sure that they spent the 50,000, for this example. So the reality is they're being paid to market to you, the average everyday person. And you're seeing them winning, and you're thinking And they're probably only recording the times that they're winning, you know? And so you just really don't know what's going on behind the scenes with these influencers. I know of two right offhand. Drake's one of them, and this guy named Adin Ross. And so, you know, this is clearly a problem. This is clearly a problem. So if I were you, if you're listening and you're watching these people, I want you to keep this in mind, that they're being paid off by these casinos in order to market to you, to get you to play. And then when you play, guess what? You don't win, or you win a large amount, but then as soon as you win it, you play it back and then it's gone. It vanishes. Because if you win, they're going to find a way to bait you back in to get that money back. And they're going to get it back 9 times out of 10. Trust me. Very few people can walk away from a big win. Whether it's online, in person, it's very hard to walk away from a big win and not go back and play some more and give it another try. It's just the nature of the beast. So I got kind of sidetracked, but I wanted to drill that idea into your head that influencers and casinos do not mix. It is a very dangerous, nasty combination. So he says here, everything I won immediately went back into the slot machine. Didn't I just say that? And then it became a pattern of trying to chase my losses. It's gotten to the point where I am forced to sell my house. Oh, goodness. He's forced to sell his house. I'm sorry that I lost my train of thought. I didn't lost my place in the post. Like that just really threw me for a loop. That's very, very rough right there. So he says, it's gotten to the point where I'm forced to sell my house due to my expenses and debt can no longer be managed. Sadly enough, I was already planning in my head how much of equity to take out in order to take to the casino. Wow. To try to recoup losses. So basically, it sounds like he's gonna try to pull out the equity in his house and try to get the money back, gamble and get the money that he lost. But it seems like in his mind, he already knows that he's going to lose. And that's why he's saying he's already entertaining the idea of selling his house. So I don't even think this guy realizes that he knows that he's not going to win. Because he says he's contemplated with the idea of pulling the equity out. And so it's like, that in and of itself should let him know, like, just don't do that. Don't make that move, like, because you're going to end up losing. You're going to lose the money. You're going to lose the house, and then you have nothing. At least take the equity out of the house. Keep that for yourself. Save up some money. You'll have something and you can catch up on your mortgage. You see how irrational it gets when you're gambling? He's not even thinking, I can take some of this money and maybe pay for what I'm in. I don't know if he's in a rut or not, but it sounds like, if he's going to lose his house, I don't know. I don't know this guy's full situation, but to me, to pull out the equity in your house and try to gamble that to catch back up is crazy. It's so crazy. So, this guy needs to just stop everything right now. What he's doing, he needs to just stop completely. Don't pull the equity out of your house. Get yourself into a GA meeting, Gamblers Anonymous meeting. He needs to call the problem gambling number like right now. This is where he still has a chance. He still has a chance. He has equity in his house, so he has a reserve. But he needs to get his mindset to where it's like, you're just done gambling altogether. He has to remove it from his life. Somebody has to take over his finances. And see, there's some people, he hasn't hit rock bottom. To go back to the initial question, He hasn't hit rock bottom yet. But when he pulls that equity out of the house, that's his rock bottom, essentially. So if you can save yourself, if you're in a situation where you still could put your hands on money, you really are in the best position you could possibly be in, because you can stop yourself in your tracks, go get the help, the therapy, join a Gamblers Anonymous meeting, stay vigilant, attend meetings, however often they meet, and be very proactive. Have somebody take over your finances. Ban yourself from all casinos. Get the gambling software on your cell phone so you can't gamble online. You got to start right away before you just drown in everything and then it just gets totally out of control. So, that you want to be in this position where you still have money to work with. It might not be much, but it's enough to where you can sustain. It says here, sometimes I sit back and I feel extremely... Oh, wait, let me go back. Sadly enough, I was already planning in my head how much of equity to take to the casino to try to recoup losses. Sometimes I sit back and I feel extremely stupid because the wins initially outweighed the losses by far. And I got so greedy. And I wish there was a reset button. Yeah, that's what happens. Like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. That's the nature of this beast. It does not matter. You can be ahead $1 million in one night and walk away with nothing in a few hours or a few days, because winning is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Your brain is hooked on this dopamine, adrenaline rush that you keep getting when you play. It's no longer about the winning. This guy was up probably crazy amounts of money, and winning was not enough. That's proof in and of itself that it's not about winning money. People think it's about winning money because they associate the exchange. Okay, I'm winning money, I gambled, that's what I'm addicted to. You're not addicted to winning money. If you were addicted to winning money or making money, you would find another way to invest your money that would guarantee, or closest possible guarantee, that you wouldn't lose, that you wouldn't take crazy losses. Maybe like investing in a mutual fund, buying a piece of real estate. It's a gamble, but it's a risk. But it's actually the risk that you really ultimately take with real estate investment is maybe you get a tenant in there that's not paying the rent. Okay. Or you can't find a tenant. Those are the two things that you're up against. But worst case scenario, you could always find someone that's getting government assistance, depending on your location and where it's at and how the zoning is set up. You can get somebody in there on government assistance, and then the government will pay, that person's rent. So what I'm getting at here is that if a person was truly addicted to winning money, they would find another alternative to invest their money, because they're like, I don't want to put myself in that position to not win. That's how you know it's not about winning. Gambling addiction is not about winning, because you're constantly putting yourself in a position where you might lose, and you know the outcome. If you've gambled enough, that there's an extremely high possibility that you might lose your money. And somebody that's truly addicted to winning money or getting money, they would not put themselves in that position to lose the money in the first place. So that's how I do away with that whole concept. Oh, I'm addicted to winning money, because I've seen people say that. In one of my comments, someone said that. Oh, I'm not addicted to gambling. I'm just addicted to winning money. Okay. So why don't you just do something else to make money or win money or whatever? So, I really got off on a tangent, guys. He says here he wish he could just hit the reset button. When does the desire to chase a loss end? It doesn't end. That's your answer. It doesn't end. Once you get that big win, and then you might start losing a little bit, and you're like, oh man, you get caught up in a loop. So it doesn't end. The chase goes on forever. How do you let it go? You can't let it go. You have to get therapy. You have to go to the Gamblers Anonymous meetings. You have to get support. You need a coach. You need an accountability partner. You need the support of your family and friends. And you have to completely isolate yourself from gambling altogether. You have to. You have to stay away from it. It got so bad that I was literally driving 2 hours daily to the casino. I sit back and I look at my win-loss statement, and I'm just so disappointed. Even as I type this message, I cannot believe that I've allowed this to happen. Well, you can't blame yourself, okay? You can, see, here's the thing. When you blame yourself, that's just going to send you into this depressed mode, which is going to make you feel worse. You don't want to go that route. The best route is you basically got caught up in a really bad scheme, and you are not fully educated on how bad this thing could be. Everybody knows that they're gambling and they're taking a risk, but most people have no idea of the underlying inner workings of how gambling works on your mind, psychologically and physiologically and mentally and emotionally. Most people have no idea that they're getting shots and bursts of dopamine just drenching their brain with dopamine, and that's what they're hooked on. That feeling, that euphoric feeling of just utter bliss and pleasure. That's what they're addicted to. And that's overshadowed by the excitement of winning money and all the excitement, and how fast it happened, and you just get caught up in the feelings and emotions of it. It takes you by storm, and it can happen to anybody. So you can't blame yourself. You just have to admit the fact that you became a victim to something, and you hold yourself accountable by saying, look, this is a problem. I know this is a problem. Now that you know this is a problem, now that you see the effects of it, you see what it's doing to you, you see what it's doing to your finances, you see how you feel, you acknowledge how you feel, you acknowledge how it's destroying relationships, you acknowledge what it's doing to you. Now you can take responsibility, hold yourself accountable to stop. See, there's no blame here. No, we're not blaming anybody. We're not blaming you. We're not blaming the casino. We're not blaming the online casino. We're just saying you got caught up in a bad situation, and now you have the power to stop it. Now, if you go through all of this and you see what it's done to you, and you go through Gamblers Anonymous, and you start missing meetings, and next thing you know, you relapse, well, then you can blame yourself. You can say, I was weak, I relapsed. But in the beginning, before you even acknowledge that you have a problem, before you even realize it, before you even have the education that you're going to receive when you go to Gamblers Anonymous, because they're going to educate you on this problem, and you're going to understand fully what's going on. Up until then, you can't blame yourself because you don't know. You have no idea what's going on. You don't know the reality of gambling. And I can say this because looking back on myself, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, I knew I was gambling. I knew that it was a risk, but I didn't know the underlying physiological, emotional, and mental ramifications and consequences of my actions. I had no idea this was happening. Now that I know the depths and deepness of this and the catastrophic effects that it has on you, the grips that it has on your brain, I will never go back. If I did, I could only blame myself because I know without a shadow of a doubt this is something I have to stay away from. So if you relapse, then you can blame yourself. You can say, I messed up. It's my fault. I screwed up. I know better. But until you take that first step and acknowledge that you have a problem, you go through the steps, you go to get the help that you need. You go to Gamblers Anonymous, you get a counselor, you get a therapist, you get a coach. Don't blame yourself, because what's going to happen is you're going to get depressed, you're going to be defeated, and you might find yourself right back gambling before you even start. So no blaming. Do not blame yourself until you fully educate yourself on this situation, on this sickness, on this disorder. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to read some of the responses from other people. So one of the people says, "Brother, in the name of serenity and the good side of this world, please, 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 I beg you, go to a Gamblers Anonymous meeting in person. That's the first thing you have to do. The next thing, go to a church, find a priest, and let yourself in God's hands. Otherwise, you could be homeless soon. I beg you to do that. I've said above, trust me, I came back from my bed because I couldn't sleep seeing your posts. That's bad, man. The devil catched you in his hands. Please do what I've said. God bless us. I will pray for you." That was really nice. That was really, really nice. Hopefully, the guy wasn't offended, by his, religious, statements. But I mean, I know he had good intentions, with that. But we have to be careful because not everybody believes what we believe in. And I respect that. I believe, these are my beliefs for sure. But, I try to respect everybody's beliefs. But another person says, "Hi, sorry to hear about your spiral that you are in. Seek out mental health resources in your area, support services, GA meetings. You have to stop right now or you will lose your house also. You got to be humble and accept that you have made a backward step. Buy a smaller house and back to work and stay out of the casino. Best of luck." So he's got a lot of support in this forum. Like, people are like, "Yo, you got to get help, man. You still have a chance." He hasn't hit rock bottom.